Hello everybody, it's me, Heather, and I'm back with part 3 of my extended first impression of the CK1 Color 3-in-1 face makeup with SPF 8. So honestly, I almost forgot to do this video today. I didn't get to do it yesterday, so I try to upload these consecutively. I try to do it 3 days in a row. I didn't get to yesterday because I got up late and I just didn't have time to film and blah blah blah. And today I almost forgot. I was about to put on my usual favorite foundation instead of the one I'm supposed to be testing out. But I remembered at the last minute, so I've already cleansed my face and I already put on a serum and a primer when this is supposed to have serum and primer already in it. But I don't want to wash my face again and take that off because I am a little crunched for time today. I do have to be somewhere in a little bit, so I'm kind of cheating today, but at the same time, I think it's okay because today I will be applying it using a makeup sponge, and we already know I like to use my sponges wet, so we already know when we use a wet sponge with any kind of liquid makeup, it's going to shear out the makeup a lot. So I don't feel bad about actually going ahead and using a serum and a primer to try to prolong the wear a little, because it's going to need a little help since it's going to be sheared out a lot. Alright, I've already wet this sponge. This is just, what do they call it? A precision blending sponge. This is from Essence of Beauty. You can get this at your local drugstore. This one's a limited edition purple with vitamin E. I love gimmicky stuff. Alright, so let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and apply some of this. I'm going to apply a lot of it, actually. I'm going to go ahead and put a bunch of it on there. Because originally I was breaking out from eating candy, but I haven't been eating candy for a couple of days, and I was still breaking out, and so I was like, oh, looks like it's the skincare I've been using. So I was testing out some new skincare, and that stinks because it was a firming type of skincare, and I'm starting to get like a fine line like right across here just because I move my eyebrows so much when I talk. And so, it's just normal expression lines. And I noticed just within like about a week of using this firming like day cream and firming night cream treatments that has lessened. But the payoff is that I'm getting a bunch of zits all over my face. So it's kind of like, well, that's not going to work for me, obviously. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I've said this in both videos, and I'm going to say it again. Especially applying it with this makeup sponge. This reminds me a lot of Urban Decay's Naked Skin. So this is, like I said, this one's only a slight touch thicker in consistency, but it's still very lightweight. It's not heavy, doesn't feel greasy, feels really nice. So, very pretty, don't you guys think? Very nice consistency. And probably because of the primer I put on, it is a slightly mattifying primer. So this foundation usually goes on pretty demi-matte, where it's in between being matte and in between being dewy. It's like right in between. It's more like how natural, how healthy skin is. We have that slight natural dewiness to us, not slick and not dry. So it's looking more matte today, and that's probably because of the primer I used. But it's still very pretty. Okay, alright. And this sponge has already ate up what I used, and I feel like I'm not really getting more out, and I definitely want more on my skin. So that's very pretty. Okay, and I'm sorry guys, it is daytime, so I don't have enough daytime light for a better, picture. But my artificial lighting kind of stinks too, so sorry. We will fix this in the future, I promise. Alright, I'm going to use a ton of this again. So, that's the great thing about makeup sponges is it does allow you to really shear out your coverage, so it does look like skin with pretty much any brand you use, especially if you're using a foundation that's really thick and you don't want it to look cakey. Using makeup sponges like these, whether it's a beauty blender or a beauty blender knockoff, will always shear out the foundation so it looks more like skin when you put it on. So I do like that, but this is already a lightweight foundation, so honestly I'm not crazy about using a makeup sponge to sheer it out even more. That's just my opinion. So, in all honesty, so far of the different ways I've tried this, I've liked it best with my fingers. I just feel like I've been able to build the coverage the best using my fingers. It still looked natural. It definitely was able to control oil better, and it seems to last longer that way. When I use a stippling brush, it shears out the foundation too much, and same with this. It's just shearing out this foundation a little too much for my taste. But then again, I do like foundations that have a lot of coverage, so this is definitely an acquired taste. You do what works for you. But ultimately, you've seen how much product I've used so far. I've used quite a bit of product. So for me, it would obviously be more cost efficient to just use my fingers because I would use significantly less product. Whereas with using a stippling brush and using this makeup sponge, I'm having to keep like adding product to build the coverage just because it's getting so sheared out by using a makeup sponge. But to each his or her own. Let's go ahead and get under my eye really good. There you go. I'll give you a good before and after. So before, after. Pretty nice. I found this does wear nicely. This foundation wears nicely without having to set it with a translucent powder. Unless you're having a really long day. If it's going to be a 12-hour day, it wouldn't hurt to set in really any foundation with a translucent powder. Or just take a touch-up compact with you throughout the day. So that when you just have your natural oils kick in and start breaking through, you can touch up on those. Alright. So, it still looks really pretty. I think it looks like skin. It has definitely more of a matte finish to it this time, like I said, but I think that's because of the primer I used. And I'm calling it a primer. It was actually a beauty balm. I was using Urban Decay's beauty balm, and that does have more of a matte finish. And so I think that mattified this foundation even more, which I don't mind. Okay, so all in all, I will link to the other two videos below. If you've not seen my extended first impression, video number 1 is me discussing the application of the CK1 Color Foundation using my fingers. Video number 2 is regarding using a foundation brush. I used a stippling brush for that one. And number 3 is this one right here, using a makeup sponge. So all in all, for me, I've found that I get the best wear and application and also use the least amount of product using my fingers with this. It builds up beautifully, very quickly. It's not greasy. It's not cakey. I found it does control oil in the long run. It's not greasy by the end of the day. It's not super oily. But if you do wear a super sheer layer, and you're the kind of person who constantly touches your face, I know I definitely do. I'm very fidgety. I'm always rubbing my nose, rubbing, itching, scratching. When I talk to people, I have a tendency to touch my chin, my cheeks and stuff while I'm talking to people, while I'm listening. So if you're using a very thin layer of this, it's going to break down very quickly if you're touching your face a lot. Just throwing that out there. So honestly, I find the best coverage was, for me, using my fingers, simply because it gave me a nice amount of coverage so that it still looked like skin, but there was enough coverage for it to stay throughout the day with me touching my face constantly. When I use a stippling brush or a makeup sponge, I just feel like the product doesn't build up as quickly as I would like. If I had to choose between a stippling brush and a makeup sponge, I would actually choose the sponge. I feel like of all these, that actually the stippling brush just sheared this out way too much. It just put it on too thin, whereas at least with the makeup sponge, I am able to better build the coverage and really push it into my skin. Whereas the stippling brush, you have a tendency to just kind of buff it on very quickly because it just goes so quickly that you feel like you're done. And then, like, for me, at the end of the day, I was like, dang, I should have put more on. I thought I was done, but I obviously didn't put enough on for me for it to last all day. So would I recommend this foundation? Yes. I actually am considering buying a full size once I run out of this. I do like this. My favorite foundation right now is Urban Decay Naked Skin. It is at half bottle. And so I think I'll just hold on to this. Once I run out of my Urban Decay, I'll use this. And once I finish that up, I might just switch to the CK1 just for something different. I do find that this has slightly better coverage than the Urban Decay Naked Skin. This does have a little bit of sun protection, which I like, even though it's not much. It's only SPF 8. I think what I like most about it is that it does have a good capacity to control shine. I'm not overly oily, but I do get just, a little bit in my T-zone, on my nose especially. I get the shiny nose at the end of the day. And I just found this wore very beautifully. Also, for those of you that are trying to save a little money here and there, this one is slightly cheaper than the Urban Decay Naked Skin. It's definitely not as affordable as maybe our drugstore brands that we love, but this one does retail for $30. A full size is 3 ounces. A full size is 1 fluid ounce. Sorry. A full size is 1 fluid ounce. It's 30 milliliters. There we go. That's why I was getting confused. For $30. Urban Decay's Naked Skin retails for 1 ounce or 30 milliliters for $38. So that does save you a couple dollars in the end, but they're very similar to each other. I think they might give each other a run for their money because, like I said, I thought it would be a while before something would come along that I liked better than Urban Decay's Naked Skin, but I find that this does have slightly better coverage than Urban Decay's Naked Skin. It's not quite as lightweight, but it's still very lightweight, and this is great for oily skin. With the Urban Decay Naked Skin, I found that whenever I am having a bout of super oily skin, that foundation tends to slide right off my face. It's so lightweight. Whereas this does have an oil controlling ingredient in it. So this is best for combination to oily skin. If you have dry skin, you should still be okay because this does have a demi-matte finish. So it's not 100% matte. It won't make you look cakey. It should not settle on any fine lines or wrinkles. And I think that's all I can say about this for now. If you have any questions about this foundation, let me know what they are, and I'll try to answer it the best I can. Let me know what you guys liked best. Of all 3 videos, which coverage did you like the best? Did you like it when I used my fingers, a stippling brush, or a makeup sponge? What did you guys think looked the best? Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this, and let me know if there are any other foundations that you would like me to do an extended first impression on. And please follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Talk to you soon.